Good morning, everybody. Welcome. My name is Peter. I'm going to be helping us run an activity in a minute. We're going to be doing tangrams, something that sort of looks like this. For this activity, you will need some colored pencils or some markers. If you haven't already, you could print out the tangrams template, which Elizabeth is going to post in the chat in a second. So if you haven't already, go ahead and print that out. You can then, I just went ahead and glued it down to a piece of cardboard, or if you have some thicker paper, you can try it with that. And then you'll need some scissors to cut out your shapes and maybe an adult to help you with those scissors if you're not feeling comfortable with that. While you get those last few supplies together, I'm going to let Elizabeth give some tips on how to use Zoom.
Started.
All right. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. All right. So I see folks have scissors and some other supplies. So I'm going to tilt my camera down a little bit. So we're going to make our own sets of tangrams today. So tangrams, if you haven't used them before, are really cool sets of different colored shapes. So I have some triangles, I have a square, I have this funny one that's called a parallelogram, and we're all going to make our own set. So what I did to make this set here, we'll go through again, I printed out that template that you all have, and I glued it onto just a piece of cardboard from a box I got in the mail. And once it's on something a little bit thicker, maybe it's cardboard, maybe it's a thick piece of paper, I'm going to color it in. That way it's a little easier once I cut it out. So I have some colored pencils. You might have some markers. Basically, I want to make each one of these shapes a different color. And you can do it whatever color you want. I think there are 7 different shapes, so I did 7 colors. You could also not have them all be different colors. That's okay too. Maybe you have a favorite color that you like. So I'm gonna start. I will make this one yellow. You can go ahead and color it in whatever you want. We're gonna use these tangrams in a little bit to make some cool pictures and some different patterns. And then we can even make some puzzles for other people to try to solve. So I made that triangle yellow. And now I'm making, oh, am I shaking the camera? I'm sorry. It's a little hard to color. I'm making this one pink. And again, you could make them all one color if you wanted to, but I want to have a bunch of different colors for my design. And sometimes it's a little hard to color on the cardboard because it's got all these bumpy lines in it. That's okay. We're going to color it in. I'm going to do my best to stay in the lines, but if I don't do that, that is totally okay. I'm going to make, let's see, I'll make this triangle orange maybe. Really trying to get it nice and filled in. It's okay if it's got some spots that are empty. Okay. Now I think this one's purple. I am not very good at telling my colors apart. Do you have a question?
Yep, go ahead, Arlo.
I think the lines on the cardboard are pretty good because then it makes lines on the paper, so it's kind of cool.
Oh, so you're getting some sort of texture, like you can see my lines on that? Is that what yours looks like, Arlo?
No, I have.
Oh, you got muted. That's okay. So I'm getting some funny texture on mine, which will be interesting. It might look might make it look a little different, which is cool. And maybe yours isn't on cardboard. Maybe you have some other things. I just had cardboard at home. So that made it really nice and easy for me to try to do this. You can keep coloring. I'm almost done with mine. And the nice thing is, if after we're done today, you want to make more sets so you have even more shapes, you'll be able to do that because we have that template, and you can make a whole bunch of different sets That'll give you a bunch of different numbers or different numbers of shapes, and you can do different patterns and stuff.
Elizabeth, do you have a question? Oop, you're still muted, Elizabeth. We can't hear you.
Do you have a comment, Elizabeth? I can't. There you go.
And I can also like tape them together too, so you can have a puzzle forever.
Oh, that's a really good idea. Yeah. Maybe once you make a really cool shape, you want to tape it together. That's a good idea. You could definitely do that. I'm going to show us another way. Maybe we can sort of preserve the idea of the puzzle while also being able to keep making new ones. But if you really like your design, you can definitely do that. And I'm almost done coloring. You could, I guess if you didn't want to even shade it in all the way, you could maybe do different patterns. So maybe you have some polka dots on one, or a spiral, or some stripes or something. You can really make these look like whatever you want, which is really nice. We have all these different shapes, but we can make them look like whatever we want within those lines. All right, so here are the tangrams I colored in, and I actually kind of like the way this looks just like it is now, but I'm gonna cut mine up in a second. Does everyone else have a chance to color theirs in? You can hold yours up so we can see the color choices you made, maybe. Oh, I see some really cool ones. And if you are still coloring, you can go ahead and keep coloring it in. It is okay. I'm gonna start cutting mine out. And again, you're gonna need some scissors, and maybe your grown-up can help you cut these out because we wanna be really safe with these sharp scissors. But you wanna cut out along those black lines that were already there, and do your best to stay straight on those lines. That'll help us out a little bit. So I'm gonna start by cutting out the outline. But you can do it in any order you want. I'm gonna give myself a nice, I'm gonna do my best to keep it straight, but it's not the end of the world if it moves a little bit, especially since those ribs and those bumps on my cardboard might make it a little difficult, but that's okay. So cut mine out. And you can keep, if you're still coloring, you can finish coloring, or you could finish coloring once you're done cutting it out. That works too. I just think it's easier to color when it's all together. All right. Let's see. Now I have to cut at a funny angle, which makes it a little harder, but we'll do our best. I have one more line to go. I'm going pretty quick, but you can take your time. All right. So I now have a bunch of different shapes here. Again, if you're still cutting, that's all right. I have two triangles that are the same size, even though I have them colored differently. I have two smaller triangles that are the same size again. I have one medium triangle. I have a square, and I have this parallelogram, which sort of looks like a diamond. It's a cool shape that'll help us do some funny things. All right, I'm gonna tilt mine up again so I can see everybody. Does everyone have some parallelograms or some things cut out? Nice. So Jacob and Jerome, I see you got yours glued down really nice. You can, if you don't want to, you don't have to color them in if you don't want to. You can do it with just plain white ones if you want, or you can color later. So the really fun thing about parallelograms is we can take these simple shapes. So we have a bunch of triangles and a parallelogram and a square, and we can make really cool different designs with them. And I think Elizabeth said she called it a puzzle. So we can make our own puzzles, and we can try to finish or complete puzzles that other people have made. So I'm gonna share my screen in a second, and we will look at some different puzzles, and we'll try to put these basic shapes together to solve that puzzle to make a picture. So I'm gonna, let's see. All right. So can everyone see the butterfly I have here? Cool. So this is what's called a silhouette. So it just means we just have the outline shapes. So we just see the basic shape of a butterfly here, and we can think about how we might be able to put our tangrams together to make a butterfly. So it might take some different trial and error. So we're going to try stuff, and if it doesn't fit, that's okay. We're going to try to piece ours together. And I'll tilt my camera down. That way you can sort of see what I'm working on. But you can all try to work on your own butterfly. And it might be kind of hard. I'm going to start over here on this wing. And I think it sort of looks to me like the top of the wings are like this, but maybe they're not. We'll find out. Let's see. Maybe this goes here. I don't know. Maybe it goes like this. That looks a little bit better to me. And I'm gonna try, let's see. Maybe I'll put my parallelogram there. That sort of looks like those the correct angles for that side, that's left side for me, but maybe it looks a little different for you, I'm not sure. Square there. And then I have these two little triangles left. I'm gonna put it like, nope, that's not right. Does that look like it's the right shape to everybody else? I know it's upside down for you. Let's see. Let's see if I can rotate it without it totally falling apart on me. Now I'm all confused because I can't see my own shapes. Let's see. How was this? Is that right? No, now it got all messed up on me. Did it look like a butterfly? Did you have better luck than I did? If you can tilt your camera down if possible, and we can see your butterfly. It's hard to hold up to a camera though. And you can keep working. And I think I got the butterfly pretty good, but then I tried to turn it around for you and it totally fell apart. All right.
Ooh, Arlo has a cool shape.
Let's see.
You can see some of it. I think you got the butterfly. Nice, Arlo.
Arlo, you did it. You made a butterfly? Cool. Does anyone else manage to make their butterfly? All right. Should we try another animal, or do we want to keep working on the butterfly? We can move on to another animal. We can see something else. We'll try another animal. Let's see, what is my next one here? We can try to make a fish this time. This will be really interesting. And I'm thinking about, I can see some different shapes. And one of the really interesting things to me is there's that little straight line right there where it bumps above the head of the fish. Look, there's some folks drawing on my screen. That's okay. I'm getting a lot of arrows. That's all right. We're gonna try to make some cool fish now. So I'll tilt it back down. And again, I'm sort of thinking about how I could break that up into different shapes, because we know that this fish is made out of a bunch of different shapes. So maybe I'm gonna start with the face of the fish right here with a big triangle. And then I think the back side of the fish is probably another big triangle with a little triangle, but I need to figure out how I can make that middle part. So I know it has a straight line up top that's slightly above that, so I'll try to do that. And I have these remaining pieces. Is anyone having any luck making a fish? This is a hard one. Well, I might try, let's see, maybe I'll put this here. I don't know. I'm having some issues with this one. Maybe I do this instead. There we go. I could try I'm having all sorts of problems with this. I think I need to swap this tail over here. I think that's going to help me a lot. I think I got it sorted out. Does that look like a fish to everybody else? Or close to it? Was anyone else able to make a fish? What do you think? Ooh, Arlo, that looks really good. Nice. And you look like you have real tangrams, which is really cool. It's nice that we can make our own, but it's also cool
Yeah.
if you have some.
Yeah, they're wood.
They're wood. Ooh, that's really nice. Yeah, maybe if you have wood or plastic ones, that'll feel different too. But I think the cardboard ones are a great solution if you don't have that at home. All right. So we just tried doing, I'm going to close my screen now. We'll stop sharing. We just went through and made some different puzzles. Ooh, Philip, that's a really cool fish. Nice. We did someone else's puzzle. But a really cool thing with Tangrams is we can make our own puzzles. So what I like to do for that, I'm going to take a piece of paper. Mine has a grid on it, a bunch of lines, but you can use a blank one. I'm going to put it down on my table. And then I'm going to try to make my own pictures using the Tangrams. I think I have everything. 1, 2.
It looks like Elizabeth made a different kind of fish using only
Ooh.
some of the puzzle pieces. I
I
like that.
like that. That's really cool. Nice. Elizabeth is a whole step ahead of us. We're going to make our own pictures now. And then, like I said, I like to put a piece of paper underneath it. And then I can think about what shapes I might want to make. And once I'm done making my shapes, we'll do something else we'll draw it on the piece of paper, and then we can give someone else that puzzle to solve. So, does anyone have an idea of what they might want to try to make with these shapes? So far, we've done a fish and a butterfly. We could keep doing animals, or we could do something else. Well, I like space a lot. Some of you have been on activities that we've done here before that are space. So I'm going to try to make a rocket ship. And I want my rocket ship to be really nice and long. So I'm going to do it on this length of the paper. You could make a rocket ship. You could make anything else that you want to try to make. If you have extra Tangrams, maybe you can make even something bigger. We're going to find out. So I want the top of my rocket ship to have a pointy cone.
I don't even know what to make.
You don't even know what to make?
Yeah.
That's okay. The nice thing is we could try a bunch of different things. So you could try making a rocket ship with me, or you could make something totally brand new. You could also just sort of piece your shapes together and see what it ends up looking like. And maybe that gives you an idea. I see, Elizabeth, what did you make? I see you have a cool shape there. I'm not sure what it is.
2 arrows, and it sometimes looks like that some people have signs up that they can go this way or the other when they're working.
Nice. So you have a sign with 2 arrows. That's really good. And maybe
It's like Arlo is showing his Tangrams too. What did yours look like, Arlo?
Mine, I think, looks kind of like a yak.
A yak? That's a cool animal. Did you know you were making a yak when you put it together, Arlo, or did you put it together and realize what it looked like?
I think I was just playing with the shapes and then it ended up like this.
That's really cool. That is a good way to do it too. I'm trying to make a rocket, but maybe I just sort of play around and see what shapes I make. I like that.
I think I made a boat.
You made a boat? That's cool.
With only 3 pieces.
Ah, very cool. Now, if you feel like you have a really cool design, we would love it if you would take a picture of your design, and then you can share it with us on our Facebook page so we can see all the cool designs and puzzles that you guys are making. A lot of stuff probably that we didn't even think of. We would love to see those pictures.
Yeah. So go ahead and take some pictures. I'm really having trouble making my rocket today, but that's okay. Let's see. So I'm going to make the rocket like that.
Off my phone.
With my phone?
Yeah. And put it on Facebook so everybody can see my boat.
Well, we don't have Facebook account for you.
I'm having some issues. Maybe I'll make something else. Maybe I'll make a house.
Who
I'm
did that?
having trouble making my rocket. And that's okay if I start making one thing and then realize I don't want to. I'm having trouble. I can come back to it later. I want to make sure I get one thing down, though. That way I can show you all the next step for making the puzzle for somebody else. So I have the top to my roof, and then I have a little chimney here.
Vivian, it looked like you were showing us your tangrams. What did you make? You're still working? All right, well, love to see them when you want to share.
Yeah, I'd love to see some other things. It's hard for me to build mine and look at yours. So I see Elizabeth's doing some cool things.
I think I made a village.
A whole village? That's
Well,
pretty cool.
It's a tiny, tiny village with only 5 pieces.
Uh-huh.
All right. I made a little house. I pieced mine together and I managed to make a house. So I'll rotate mine so you can see what I'm talking about. So you can see I have a little house with a roof and a chimney.
It looks like a barn.
It does sort of look like a barn. Maybe it's a different type of building.
Jacob and Jerome, do you guys want to share what you have?
All right.
Oh, very cool.
Super cool.
Awesome.
Okay.
Oh, and Vivian, do you want to share now? I saw you were sharing your creation. What did you make?
I made a house with an arrow on the top.
Ah,
Like a barn that has those swing things.
Yeah.
Oh, like the thing that swings in the wind?
Yeah.
yeah.
Very
A
cool.
weather vane on top of a barn. That's awesome.
That's really cool. I like that idea. Once you have a picture that you think is really cool and you want to make a puzzle, a good step is then you can take a pencil and you can make an outline of the total shape. So I'm going to try that, and it's pretty hard. You want to hold down the piece of cardboard or the paper or the wood, whatever you're using, and you can make the outline. So I'm going to draw a line here. I'm just holding it up against it. And I don't want to outline each shape. I want to outline the overall house that I made. So I'm holding them down nice and tight while I draw. It gets pretty tricky here.
I think I made a little house too.
You made a house too? Can I see it? Oh, really cool. I like that your house looks totally different from my house. That's a really cool, creative house. I'm finishing outlining mine. And maybe yours is a house. Sounds like we have a lot of different things. Maybe Arlo made another yak, which would be really cool.
Looks like Elizabeth wants to share. What do you have, Elizabeth? Let's see. Oh, you have to unmute yourself first.
It looks like a barn.
Oh, yours looks like a barn. Very cool.
Nice. So
We've got a lot of barns and houses going on. That's awesome. And they all look a little bit different, which is really cool.
That's really cool. After I outlined mine, I took the piece of Tangrams off of it, and I have this silhouette, that outline of my shape. So now, if I want to, I could give this to somebody else and say, here are my tangrams, here's my puzzle. Can you make the same building I did? And that's a cool thing. You could give it to a friend or a sibling or a grown-up and see if they can solve your puzzle. Or the cool thing is if you make a few of these, you could come back to it tomorrow and see if you could remake your shape. Because maybe, I bet I wouldn't remember how to make my house again. And if I really want to, I could also shade it in sort of like those silhouettes that we saw before. But you can see if you could make your own puzzle. Does anyone have a design they want to share with us? I'm going to tilt my camera back up. Oh, I see some really cool designs. The other nice thing is, I think, Elizabeth, you might be making just a really fun pattern, which is really pretty and a fun thing to do too. You don't have to make a picture if you don't want to. All right, you can all keep working, but like Elizabeth from the Science Center said, there's two Elizabeths on the call, you could share some pictures with your grown-ups help on our Facebook page. We'd love to see the different puzzles you make or the designs you make, so you could take a picture of the tangrams laid out. That way, maybe you make a really cool puzzle that another kid wants to try out. That would be really
Arlo's
fun.
making some cool 3D designs. He's got
Oh, Arlo's
tangrams all
stacked his
standing
up. I don't think mine can do that.
This one. I made a puzzle like this. Here's in mine. See?
Cool.
Can
I
you
don't
make
think mine will stand up. They're too thin.
it?
That's pretty good. Arlo, was that a picture or what were you making with those triangles lined up? Was it anything in particular?
I think it looks like some mountains.
That's what I would have guessed
But
too.
like a big mountain and then some small mountains. Like
That's
kind of
very
like
cool. You had a bunch of mountains lined up of different sizes. Maybe you could also try putting one tangram on top of the other and making a cool picture. So maybe it looks like now I have a small mountain in front of a big mountain. You could totally try that. There's all sorts of different things you could do. You can keep trying. And the nice thing is, I ended up making a second set of tangrams. So now I have a whole bunch of shapes. So maybe I could make an even bigger picture. I could make a whole bunch of different things. And now that you know how to make your own tangrams, you could make more sets for yourself. And who knows what I would make then? I don't know. Maybe a really big house. Or maybe I'd finally make that rocket ship.
I made a cat bus.
A cat bus? What's a cat bus?
You make a square and then you make two pointy triangles on top of it to make the ears.
Oh, it's a bus that is a cat. I thought it was a bus for cats, but I like that one too. That's really cool.
I see
Very
Vivian
nice.
is showing something she made. Can you tell us about it, Vivian?
it's aliens with a laser coming out of the bottom.
Oh, awesome. That's super cool. Does anyone else have a design they want to share with our group today?
And then there's a dome on the top.
Oh,
I made a very slippery slide.
cool.
All
Well-
right. Well, you guys keep exploring and keep creating. And again, whatever you come up with, if you come up with a cool design, we would love to see a picture of it on our Facebook page.
Yep. And tomorrow, you can join us again at 10:30. We're going to be doing an activity called Sink or Float. So you'll need a large container.
Sink or
Yeah, maybe some things are going to sink and some are going to float. We'll find out. You're going to need a container and some
What is
water
sink
to
or,
put in there,
guys?
and then a bunch of little objects, things we want to investigate whether they're going to sink or float. And then I'm double checking. That is pretty much it. And those objects could be little toys or maybe some natural materials. So maybe a rock or a stick or something, or just some objects you find around the house. And we'll do an investigation. So we hope to see you all at 10:30, and I hope you enjoyed Tangrams today. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye.